Well, I started my career being interested in public policy. So I started studying economics to understand public policy. I started actually with political science, but then I said that, look, if I don't know economics, somebody will tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I started doing economics, which is a fascinating subject, but continued, worked also in public policy, and attended the Woodrow Wilson School for Public and International Affairs and got a master's in public policy, and then my PhD in economics out of Princeton. I started my career, then there were many changes in my own country, political changes. So soon I was asked by Andreas Papandreou, the then Prime Minister, to join the government and head the Center for Planning and Economic Research. So this is a little bit like CPD, but except it was at the end. It was and it still is more related to government. And at that time we were basically organizing and coordinating the first 5-year plan after the military dictatorship. That brought me into public policy domain, which I found fascinating, but got actually into politics pretty soon, because you could see that there were already conflicts even within my own party about which way to go forward. So we tried to put forward arguments, debate, etc., etc. And I continued this path also at the OECD, when I headed the OECD Development Centre between 2003 and 2007. But then it was very tempting when George Papandreou asked me to be politically involved, to see if I could put into practice those things which I was advocating as a policy analyst. And I was drawn into Greece. I became the economic spokesperson for PASOK, ran for parliament and was in parliament from 2007 to 2009, and then as an elected parliamentarian in 2009 from the 2nd District of Athens. And I found myself as Minister of Economy and Competitiveness and Shipping in the PASOK government, and let me remind you that PASOK won the elections with 44% of the vote at that time. So we came into government with an agenda for change, an agenda to do fiscal consolidation, to do structural reforms, but we thought we had time to do it, that there was time to implement our program. Unfortunately, the markets had a different view, and there was, as I said in my lecture yesterday, a speculative attack on the Greek bond market, because hedge funders could see our vulnerabilities and hit and did not let us actually implement that program. So I was minister at a time of a crisis. It was not easy, and I came very quickly into some kind of opposition with my own party head and also with the Troika, and more importantly with the banking system and the banking sector, because I introduced 2 major laws for the restructuring of loans of small-scale enterprises first, and then for people who were unable to repay debts. There were stipulations there which were pretty progressive, certainly for the bankers, that someone can save their home if, by going to court, the court decide that his or her income or property is not sufficient to repay debt. So these were turbulent but very exciting times. I was, after 9 months, I was moved to the Labour Ministry, where again it was evident for me that what the Troika was proposing, namely to dismantle collective agreements, cut minimum wages, and kind of create a very, very excessively, I would say, flexible labour market, was going to be not only socially unjust but also very recessionary, because wages and pensions would have fallen at the same time by 30 and 40%. So, to make a long story short, after 8 months of serious work and renegotiations with the Troika, I was able to put in place a compromise law ensuring some flexibility but not total horizontal measures of dismantling the collective agreements. Well, this again faced opposition from some domestic interests. I was removed from office in June 2011, and then when these measures came to Parliament, I had to vote no, both for the dismantling of collective agreements and then for the second memorandum with the Troika, which had extremely harsh and unprecedented terms, such as that if there is a delay in payments to creditors, the creditors could seize public property or even including the gold of the Bank of Greece. I felt at that time, after a lot of soul-searching, that I could not vote for such measures, and so I left. I didn't vote. I was again removed from the parliamentary committee of my own party, together with 22 other parliamentarians. And 12 of us initially, and then 8 formed the Social Pact in 2012. So here we are. I think it's an interest, my interest. I'm always an economist. I'm back in the university now. And so I think for the rest of my life I would certainly be an economist, someone deeply interested in public policy. And politics come and go, and we will see what happens.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.